Good morning, students. This is lecture number 2 for chapter number 5 Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Written by John Updike for class 12th, subject English, book Vistas. Children, in lecture number 1 of this chapter number 5, I taught you from page number 48 to 51. And today, in this lecture number 2, we shall continue from page number 52 to 53. But before starting from page number 52, I will recapitulate what I taught you in lecture number 1. And today we will be finishing the reading and explanation of this chapter. Children, let's begin with the recapitulation of lecture number 1. The story Should Wizard Hit Mommy starts with the daily routine that Jack had been following for 2 years with his daughter, whose name is Jo. His daughter was 2 years old when the tradition started, and today she was 4 years old. The tradition was that Jack would tell Jo a story out of his mind every day in the evening before going to bed, and also on every Saturday afternoon during her nap time. Now, the issue was that it had been so long that he had been telling her stories that he did not have any good idea or new idea for stories left with him. Even Jo didn't sleep during the story sessions anymore. So, every day when he used to tell her a story, the basic plot of the story used to be the same, revolving around Roger, an animal who used to change every day. Roger used to have a problem and he would approach the wise owl for help, who would send him to the wizard, and the wizard would solve Roger's problem but ask for more pennies than Roger had, and would also give him a solution to go fetch the pennies from a specific place. Then Roger would go to that place, fetch the pennies, and would happily go back and play with his friends. After playing happily with his friends, Roger would go back home before it got dark to wait for his father, who would be on his way back from Boston. Then Jack would describe what all Roger and his family had for dinner, and that would be the end of the story. On the specific Saturday afternoon nap, Jack asked Jo about which creature did she want to listen or hear the story that day. To which she replied, a skunk, because she heard about this animal somewhere in her nursery class. So Jack started the story with Roger Skunk, who was a very stinky animal. Stinky means very, producing very bad smell. None of his friends liked to play with him. One day he went to the wise owl and shared his problem. The wise owl then told him to go visit the wizard. Then the skunk went to the wizard and shared his problem. The wizard then helped him to solve his problem and asked him how he wanted to smell. To this, Roger Skunk replied that he wanted to smell like roses did. So, this was the complete lecture I gave you for this chapter number 6 in my lecture number 1. And now, children, we shall proceed from page number 52 onwards. Students, now we shall begin this lecture number 2 from page number 52. You see in your book, I am reading the text from your textbook. He paused as a rapt. Rapt means completely fascinated or absorbed by what one is seeing or hearing. I repeat, rapt is completely fascinated or absorbed by what one is seeing or hearing. He paused as a rapt expression widened out from his daughter's nostrils. Nostrils, you know, either of two external openings of the nose, forcing her eyebrows up and her lower lip down in a wide noiseless grin. Grin means a foolish laugh, a broad smile, an expression in which Jack was startled. Startled means surprised. To recognize his wife, feigning. Feigning means pretending. Pleasure at cocktail parties. and all of a sudden he whispered the whole inside of the wizard's house was full of the smell of roses, roses. Roger Fish cried. And the wizard said, very cranky. Cranky means bad tempered or irritable. That will be 7 pennies. Daddy, what? Roger Skunk. You said Roger Fish. Yes, Skunk. You said Roger Fish. Wasn't that silly? Very silly of your stupid old daddy. What was I? Where was I? Well, you know about the pennies? Say it. Okay. Roger Skunk said, but all I have is 4 pennies, and he began to cry. Joe made the crying face again, but this time without a trace of sincerity. This annoyed Jack. Downstairs, some more furniture rumbled. Rumbled means make a continuous deep sound. Rumbled means make a continuous deep sound. Claire, his wife, shouldn't move heavy things. She was 6 months pregnant. It would be their third. So, in these lines, what we have studied, children, then Jack relates the face that his daughter made to that of his wife. She made such a face when she pretended to be enjoying a cocktail party. Then he continues that the whole house of the wizard was filled with the fragrance of roses. By mistake, he changed the animal to fish. Joe corrected him and he said that it was really silly of his part to call him a fish in place of skunk. Just then, Jack got a bit annoyed with Joe's expression and suddenly he heard some furniture rumbling downstairs. He realized that Claire, his wife, shouldn't be moving such heavy things as she was 6 months pregnant and they were going to have their third baby. So there would be a very interesting question on these lines, that what ugly situation Jack was facing while he was telling stories to his daughter. This is ugly middle position, that one way he was required by his wife in order to rumble down the furniture downstairs, whereas he was caught by his daughter for telling her stories. So this is ugly middle position that he is caught in. He wanted to help his wife who was 6 months pregnant, and that would not be good on her part to move the furniture or to move heavy furniture. Okay, and he was caught by his daughter who was not leaving him and she was not even feeling sleepy. And his purpose of telling a story to her was to make her feel asleep. That purpose was not being sold and he was caught by her here, and this was an ugly middle position for Jack. Now the story continues on page number 52. You see, after the first half I am reading now. So the wizard said, oh, very well. Go to the end of the lane and turn around 3 times and look down the magic well, and there you will find 3 pennies. Hurry up. So Roger Skunk went to the end of the lane and turned around 3 times, and there in the magic well were three pennies. So he took them back to the wizard and was very happy and ran out into the woods, and all the other little animals gathered around him because he smelled so good. And they played tag, baseball, football, basketball, lacrosse, hockey, soccer, and pick-up sticks. What's pick-up sticks? It's a game you play with sticks, like the wizard's magic wand, kind of. And they played games and laughed all afternoon, and then it began to get dark, and then they all ran home to their mommies. So in these lines, Jack told Joe, then the wizard tells Roger to go to the end of the lane and turn around 3 times, and when he would look into the magic well, he would find 3 more pennies. And then Roger did exactly how he was told and got the extra pennies, paid to the wizard, and then ran back to the woods where everybody gathered around him, because now he smelled so good, because he was smelling like roses. Then they all played a lot of games and enjoyed themselves. As it was getting dark, then all the animals ran back to their mommies into their homes. Now, the hero of the story, Roger Skunk, who was producing bad smell, has started producing now smell of roses due to the wizard's magic spell. And now the skunk would go to his mommy at his home. Now children, you see we are on page number 53. I am reading it from the very beginning on page number 53. Jo was starting to fuzz with her hands. Fuzz means to show excessive excitement, right? Because she felt very happy. Now the hero of the story had started smelling like roses. So Jo was starting to fuzz with her hands and look out of the window at the crack of day that showed under the shade. She thought the story was all over. Jack didn't like women when they took anything for granted. He liked them apprehensive. Apprehensive means fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen. Or in short, you may say apprehensive means worried. He liked them apprehensive, hanging on his words. Now, Jo, are you listening? Yes, because this is very interesting. Roger Skunk's mommy said, "What is that awful smell?" Awful means very bad, unpleasant smell. What? And Roger Skunk said, "It's me, mommy. I smell like roses." And she said, "Who made you smell like that?" And he said, "The wizard." And she said, "Well, of all the nerve, you come with me and we are going right back to that very awful wizard." Jo sat up, her hands dabbling. Dabbling means moving about in the air with genuine fright. Fright means fear. "But, Daddy," then he said, "about the other little animals run away." Her hands Her hands skittered off. Skittered means moved quickly into the underbrush. Underbrush means low bushes, or you can say shrubs or the small trees. So, what is written in these lines? Jo had started getting bored with the story and was very much interested in looking out of the window. She thought that the story was over. On the other hand, Jack did not like women who would take things for granted. He liked women who remained engrossed in his talks. Then he again continued the story, asking Jo to be a little attentive to what he said. The mommy skunk asked from where was the awful smell coming from, to which Roger replied that it was him. He added that he smelt like roses now. Mommy skunk asked Roger who had made him smell like that, to which he replied that the wizard had done so. This made Mommy angry, and this made, in fact, that little Jo also angry. She again sat up and she started moving her hands about in the air with the genuine fear, because she did not like the reaction of the mommy that was additionally added this time by her father in the story. "All right," he said, "but mommy, all the other little animals run away." And she said, "I don't care. You smelled the way a little skunk should have, and I am going to take you right back to that wizard." And she took an umbrella and went back with Roger Skunk and hit that wizard right over the head. "No," Jo said, and put her hand out to touch his lips. Even in her agitation, did not quite dare to stop the source of truth. Inspiration came to her. Then the wizard hit her on the head and did not change that little skunk back. "No," he said. The wizard said, "Okay," and Roger Skunk did not smell of roses anymore. He smelled very bad again. "But the other little amam, these are the words spoken by that little girl who did not like Roger Skunk smelling bad again. "Johnny, it's Daddy's story. Shall Daddy not tell you any more stories?" Her broad face looked at him through sifted light, astounded. Now, in these lines, what does we read? We read that Mommy Skunk got very angry and she ordered Roger to accompany her to the wizard. Roger told his mommy that all his friends ran away from him if he smelled bad, to which his mom replied that she did not care and that he smelled just the way a baby skunk should smell. His mom took out her umbrella and they went to Wizard's house, where, when the wizard opened the door, the mommy skunk hit him on his head. Then Jo started imagining her own story about how the wizard would have hit the mommy skunk back and never changed Roger's skunk back. Her father told her that nothing of that sort happened and the wizard changed Roger's skunk back to normal and he did not smell of roses now anymore. Another question was about to pop up in the little Joe's mind was different, but Jack stopped her and told her that it was his story, and if she wanted him to tell her any more stories, then she should keep quiet. Jo kept on looking at her father with great surprise as she waited for the story to be continued, because she was not happy with this ending if her father ends up the story in which the hero of the story is smelling bad and due to the bad smell he is not able to make friends with other animals in the jungle. So she was waiting that her father would continue with the happy ending of the story. Now, Joe's father, Jack, who was telling her story, is going to end it up. And he said, "This is what happened." Then Roger Skunk and his mommy went home and they heard woo woo. It was the choo choo train bringing Daddy Skunk home from Boston. And they had lima beans. Lima beans means an edible flat whitish bean, right? They had lima beans, celery, liver, mashed potatoes, and pie o my for dessert. Dessert means sweet dish. And when Roger Skunk was in bed, Mommy Skunk came up and hugged him and said he smelled like that her baby, like her little baby skunk again, and she loved him very much, and that is the end of the story. But here, though he ended up the story, the little girl, Jo, was not satisfied. She continued. She said, "But, Daddy, what? Then, did the other animals run away?" No, because eventually they got used to the way he was and did not mind it at all. Right? So, after some time, what we have studied in these lines, I am explaining now. After some time, when Roger Skunk and his mum were going back home, they heard the sound of the train as his father arrived back from Boston. Then all of them had lima beans, celery, liver, etc. to have for their dinner and desserts. Later that night, when Roger Skunk was sleeping, Mom Skunk came back. She hugged him and told him that he smelled again like her baby skunk and that she loved him a lot. With this, Jack ended the story, to which Joe again asked, "Did the other animals run away from Roger Skunk's again?" And Jack replied, "No, because they all slowly got accustomed to the smell so that they did not feel like running away anymore. So all of them started playing with Roger Skunk in the woods. No animal ran away whenever he went to play with them." So let's proceed with the reading on page number 54. She says, "What's eventuality?" This is actually the pronunciation of eventually by Jo, as she was too young to pronounce this word correctly. So she pronounced it wrong. And then, in a little while, "That was a stupid mommy." It wasn't. He said with rare emphasis. Emphasis means special value given to something, and believed from her expression that she realized he was defending his own mother to her. Or something as odd, now I want you to put your big heavy head in the pillow and have a good nap. He adjusted the shade so not even a crack of day showed and tiptoed to the door. Tiptoed means walk quietly. He started walking on toes. In the pretense means pretending that she was already asleep. But when he turned, she was crouching on the top of the covers and staring at him. Staring means she was continuously looking at her father. Hey, get under the covers and fall fast asleep, Bobby's sleep. She stood up and bounced gingerly. Gingerly means in a very careful and cautious manner. On the springs. Daddy, what? Tomorrow I want you to tell me the story that that wizard took the magic wand and hit that mommy. Her plump arms chopped forcefully right over the head. No, that's not the story. The point is that the little skunk loved his mommy more than he loved all other little animals, and she knew what was right. No, tomorrow you say he hit that mommy. Do it. She kicked her legs up and sat down on the bed with a great heavy heave and complaint of springs. And she had done hundreds of times this before also, except that this time she did not laugh, say it daddy. Now, what we studied in this line, when Jack said that eventually everybody started liking Roger Skunk, Joe did not understand the word eventually, as she had heard it for the first time. Then she asked, what is eventually? To which Jack told her the meaning. But Joe thought what Mommy Skunk did was not right, and she said what the mother skunk did was stupid. But Jack took it personally and said no, because somewhere he was relating it to himself and defending his own mother. Then Jack told Joe that he wanted her to take a long day nap and adjusted the shades so that no light came in. He then went very softly to the door and acted as if Joe had slept. But when he turned and looked around, she was staring at him and sitting on top of the covers. Then he told her to go to sleep as she was also disturbing her brother who was already sleeping. Then she stood up and started bouncing softly on the springs. While jumping on the springs of the bed, she asked her father to tell her a story the next day again, in which the wizard took her magic stick and hit the mommy hard and chopped her plump arms. Then Jack explained to her that this was not what the story said. He told her that the story gave us a message that Skunk loved his mother more than any of the other animals in the woods, and that his mother knew what was right for him and what was not. Then, as he was explaining Joe about the story, she started insisting that the next day he would have to tell her a story like that she wanted, because this story ending had not made her happy, and she wanted the hero of the story must not suffer in any condition at all. Children, now we are proceeding towards the end of the chapter. Here you see on page number 54 in the last lines, she says, no, tomorrow you say he hit that mommy, do it. She kicked her legs up and sat down on the bed with a great heave. Heave means produce a sigh. She produces a sigh and complaint of springs, as she had done hundreds of times before, except that this time she did not laugh. Say it, Daddy. Well, we'll see. Now, at least have a rest. Stay on the bed. You are a good girl. He closed the door and went downstairs. Claire had spread the newspaper and opened the paint can, and wearing an old shirt of his own top of her maternity smock. and was stroking the chair rail with a dipped brush. Stroking means moving one's hand with gentle pressure. Okay, she was wearing the maternity smock, that is a loose, comfortable piece of cloth, and she was stroking the chair with rail with a dipped brush. Above him, footsteps vibrated, and he called, Johnny, shall I come up there and spank you? Spank means slap with one's open hand. That is called spank. Then he heard the sound that was produced with the footsteps upstairs, and he shouted, Shall I come up there and spank you? The footsteps hesitated. That was a long story, Claire said. The poor kid, he answered, and with utter weariness, weariness means extreme tiredness, watched his wife labor, the woodwork, a cage of moldings, the ray and rails, and baseboards all around them, was half old tan and half new ivory, and he felt caught in an ugly middle position, and though he as well felt his wife's presence in the cage with him, he did not want to speak with her, work with her, touch her, anything. So here the chapter ends, in which we have studied. Then Jo started throwing tantrums as she had done many things earlier. But this time she was not laughing or joking. She was being a bit stubborn. And Jack told her to be patient and sleep, that he would see to it the next day whether he wanted to bring any alterations in the story or not. He then asked her to stay on the bed and closed the door. He then went downstairs and saw his wife painting the walls. She had opened the paint can, spread the newspaper, and was wearing an old shirt, a loose garment of his over her maternity dress. She was painting the chair rail. Suddenly he again heard footsteps above and shouted, Did Johnny want beating? The sound of the footsteps started vanishing. Then Jack's wife told him that it was really a very long story that he was telling Jo. And to that he replied, The poor kid. And as he was feeling very tired, he just sat and watched his wife do all the work. Then he started looking at the woodwork around him and started relating it to his life. He was looking at it and thinking that although both of them, Jack and Claire, were caught in a cage like situation in their marriage, there was no solution to it. Neither did he want to take to her nor speak or touch her. So this was an ugly middle position that he realized when he came back, but he was too tired to help his wife anymore. And here, children, your story ends. So, children, today's homework is read the chapter Should Wizard Hit Mommy from page 52 to 55 thoroughly, and also answer the questions given in Read and Find Out box on page number 53 and 54. This is your homework of the day. I hope you would be capable enough to do it in a very good manner. So, by the time, thank you. Have a nice day.